We're chasing the sun from coast to coast. Fairways shining, legends grow. From mountain highs to ocean skies, greatness lies where champions rise. Feel the rhythm, hear the roar. It's the Sunshine Tour. Every moment, every year, greatness begins here. Feel the power, feel the pride under African skies so wide. The Sunshine Tour, loud and clear. Greatness begins here.
Welcome to magnificent Humewood Golf Club. It is a course steeped in history. It is one of the most famous courses in Africa, a true links, and it was also home to the Sunbet Challenge, presented by Sun Boardwalk.
There are golf courses, and then there are golfing institutions. Perched on the edge of the Indian Ocean, Humewood Golf Club is widely regarded as one of the purest links experiences anywhere in the world. For nearly a century, the famous layout has tested the very best, demanding imagination, patience, and precision in equal measure. Unlike many modern venues, Humewood remains untouched by residential development. There are no estates, no houses lining the fairways, just rolling dunes, thick coastal rough, ocean breezes, and a layout that feels wonderfully timeless. And perhaps that's why so many players absolutely love playing here.
We were just speaking about it. This is what we're looking for. You know, we play a true links golf course, and the weather just makes it even more special. You know, to feel like you're playing golf the way it started. And yes, the course needs it. I feel like the course needs the wind.
Our course is unbelievable. I mean, we don't get to play links much often out here, and this is a true links. And yeah, I mean, every time we come out here, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited to come play out here. I mean, some of the best links courses, and I enjoy playing out here in Humewood.
It's awesome. You know, we've been coming here. My first round here was back, I think, 95, you know, so it's a long time ago when we played for the universities, and then we had the SA Amateur here and we had the SA Open here. So it's obviously stood the test of time, this course. It's brilliant. The members are awesome as well. So it's a nice place to be.
Feeling great. I mean, it's always nice to be back at Humewood. It's one of the few links we have here in South Africa. So it's always lovely to play something different. So yeah, lovely to be back.
For me, I mean, I'm biased. I've played here since I was a young guy, so I mean, I think the setting is very unique in terms of having a real pure links-looking landscape, and then also the view of the sea. Obviously, is stunning. You get a view of the sea from I think all 18 tee boxes. So, yeah, it's a very peaceful place for me. I love coming back here.
What an absolute pleasure it is to welcome the Sunshine Tour and all the golfers back to Nelson Mandela Bay, or Gqeberha if you prefer, after a couple of years' absence. It's a course that we're incredibly proud of in these parts. It perennially features on lists of the greatest golf courses in South Africa, rightfully so. Conditions challenging with the wind coming through, and I know I speak on behalf of all high handicap golfers in this part of the world when I say we're grateful for that. We wanted to present a challenge to the best golfers in this country. We hope they have a great time in our city, but we hope you get tested on this course.
Overnight rain welcomed the field to a softer than usual humid layout on the Wednesday morning. But while conditions may have changed slightly, the challenge remained every bit as demanding. One of the early starters to make his move was Tristan Strydom. The Sunshine Tour winner endured a shaky start with an early bogey, but quickly settled into his round with some superb play. 6 birdies later, Strydom signed for an impressive 5 under par 67 to set the early clubhouse target.
Yes, sir. I'll take that and get out of here in a jiffy. Played really nicely, gave myself a ton of chances. Talking from experience, this golf course can really bite you in some areas. So I just kept the ball and play nicely and took my chances when I got there.
Strydom's lead didn't last long. Luke Brown soon joined him at 5 under after producing a remarkably similar round. Like Strydom, Brown recovered brilliantly from an early blemish, responding with 6 birdies in a composed and mature display as he continued his hunt for a second Sunshine Tour title.
Yes, not great to start with a bogey, although they do say all good rounds start with a bogey. So I was thinking that going into the second tee, but I managed to kind of erase that bogey early. with a birdie on number 2. So that was quite nice, kind of settled everything. And then, yeah, made 5 birdies from there, no mistakes, and yeah, lovely round.
Meanwhile, Justin Walters made the most of his afternoon start. The US-based South African started on the 10th and immediately found his rhythm, reeling off birdies with clinical precision. 4 consecutive birdies from the 15th through the 18th helped Walters turn in a scintillating 32. And although the front 9 proved slightly tougher, he still signed for a superb 7 under par, 65.
I knew it was going to be a tough day with the wind, but I just felt like if I could drive it well, you have the opportunity to score. But then I gave myself a lot of looks at birdie, and I managed to roll a few in, and I just got comfortable out there. As strange as that seems, it was really, really windy and tough, but I just could feel where the club was, and I was executing shots and making a few putts, and then once you kind of get going, it's nice, the game kind of gives back.
But the biggest draw of the day belonged to local favourite Gqeberha. The tournament marked something of a homecoming for the Gqeberha-born professional, and he certainly looked comfortable on familiar terrain. Gqeberha combined local knowledge with fearless golf, producing a flawless round featuring 6 birdies and an eagle without dropping a single shot. His brilliant 64 earned him sole possession of the overnight lead at 8 under par.
That was a very comfortable way to start the day. And then I hit a lot of good tee shots, which around here is very important, especially in the wind. If you get out of position, the course can really come back to bite you. And then made a couple of nice putts on top of it. So yeah, very chuffed. I think if the wind doesn't blow, you don't have to adapt too much because the course is quite friendly when there's not much wind. But today, yeah, I had to go into survival mode a little bit with some shot making, and yeah, you really had to think your way around the golf course, which luckily today everything panned out for me.
So, after day 1, Gqeberha led the way at 8 under par, 1 clear of Justin Walters. 5 players shared third at 5 under: Tristan Strydom, Luke Brown, Benjamin van Wyk, Jean Hugo, and Tota Timber Jr. There was also plenty of attention surrounding Gerard Pepler heading into the week. The big-hitting South African arrived at Humewood full of confidence after capturing victory at the KitKat Cash and Carry Pro-Am at Arini Country Club, his 2nd Sunshine Tour title. Pepler opened with a steady 2 under par 70 on day 1, keeping himself firmly within striking distance heading into the remainder of the tournament.
It feels good to be back. I'm in a little bit of a better mental state this time around. I wasn't in the best of mindsets back then, but yeah, it feels good to be back, just looking at the ocean and just enjoying the views. I finished not too bad, made a silly double on 15, didn't do a great tee shot. So to come back after that and shoot a 2 under score is pretty good.
The victory at Arini was an emotional one for Pepler. After years of knocking on the door, he finally broke through once again with a composed and memorable performance under pressure. Heading into the final round with a narrow advantage, Pepler briefly lost his outright lead before producing the defining moment of the tournament. A remarkable eagle at the 17th restored his advantage and ultimately proved decisive as he went on to secure victory by 2 strokes.
That was probably the most perfect hole I've ever played in my life. Just the tee shot went as dead straight as it could be, and then the putt was dead straight, so it was just everything was perfect on that hole.
The celebrations were made even more special by the presence of his family.
That was a big surprise for me because my wife actually phoned them on Sunday morning at 6:30 in the morning to ask them if they can please come through so that I have some familiar faces around me. So yeah, it was amazing. My first win wasn't with anybody there, so to have my second win with my parents there was amazing. It made it a little bit easier and stressful at the same time. So it was easier in terms of my dad looked where I hit the ball, so I couldn't lose one. I got into golf through my dad. He played golf before I was born. He played some serious golf as well. So when I was born, he bought my first golf set. So that was basically my introduction to golf is from the beginning. And that's sort of where I realized, okay, I'm actually very good at this.
And so, on to the second round of the Sunbet Challenge, presented by Sun Boardwalk. With light rain once again drifting across the famous links, players were forced to adapt quickly as conditions continued to shift throughout the day. One man who handled the challenge superbly was Tota Timber Jr. The Sunshine Tour campaigner admitted he had been slightly wary of what the weather could produce heading into the week, but any concerns quickly disappeared as he continued his impressive form, carding a 3-under par 69 to climb to 8 under for the tournament.
I shot 3 under today. I played very well, hit the ball well, putted well, but today I think my putter was cold a bit, but yeah, I managed to shoot 3 under today.
Overnight leader Gqeberha was among the early starters this time around. And while the local favourite couldn't quite reproduce the fireworks of his opening 64, the galleries following him still had plenty to cheer about. Gqeberha mixed 7 birdies with 5 bogeys during an entertaining rollercoaster round of 70. It was enough to move him to 10 under par overall, to sit alongside fellow contenders Nikhil Rama and John Hugo.
It was solid out there today. A couple of small mistakes here and there, which I'd like back, but overall, if you'd offered me 2 under at the start of the day with still a little breeze and colder conditions this morning, I would have been happy. So gonna go all guns blazing tomorrow, see what happens, got nothing to lose. So yeah, really looking forward to the challenge.
While the leaderboard remained heavily dominated by South Africans, there was also international interest building in the form of Welshman Jack Davidson. Davidson produced one of the cleanest rounds of the day. The 24-year-old fired a bogey-free 65, featuring an eagle and 5 birdies, as he surged into a share of second place at 11 under par. The rising star has quickly embraced life on the Sunshine Tour and looked right at home tackling the demands of links golf at Humewood.
This wasn't really on the plans 12 months ago. I've been playing all my golf in Europe up until now, really. And then I lost my Challenge Tour rights at the end of last year. And just looking at options as a professional golfer, one of my good friends, Reece Enoch, who lives in South Africa, so after speaking to him and him recommending Q School, I came out, give it a go, and yeah, here I am. So yeah, it's different. It's definitely a different culture, but I'm really enjoying it out here, so long may it continue. Some of the guys have said this is the only true links course in South Africa, so I was keen to get my eyes on it after playing a lot of links courses growing up. So it is a good links course. It offers all the dunes, the undulation around the greens, the pot bunkers. It's a great course. It's a good test, and when the wind blows, I'm sure it can offer some different challenges.
Joining Davidson at 11 under was one of the Sunshine Tour's most experienced campaigners, Jacques Blau. The multiple-time winner relied on all of his experience and course management, producing a classy round packed with quality iron play and clinical putting. Blau rolled in 7 birdies during his second round, including 5 on the inward 9, as he also carded a superb 65 to vault into contention heading into the final round.
Yeah, it was quite fun. I must say I've started off slowly and obviously got momentum just before the turn. So yeah, so very happy with it. Looking back at the scorecard today, it felt like I was in control of my game. So I'm very happy with that, yeah. I mean, every week the guys are getting better, and with that, they're also getting younger and better. So it feels to me like I'm the granddad out on tour. So yeah, so I mean, for me, it's working. I have to work harder. I have to look more after myself physically, and then obviously the mental stuff. When you're not playing well, which I haven't been in the last 6 months, it becomes very, very hard and difficult.
But despite the chasing pack continuing to close in, there was simply no catching Justin Walters. The South African delivered one of the standout performances of the tournament in the morning field. Walters was almost untouchable around Humewood. 9 birdies and just a single dropped shot helped him card a sensational 8 under par 64, powering him to 15 under overall and opening up a commanding 4-shot advantage at the top of the leaderboard.
Yesterday I put a lot into the day in really tough conditions, and I just didn't want to take my foot off the gas. Today I wanted to really keep it down, and it's very rare that you answer the calling, and today I did a really good job. I mean, minus a few shots here and there, which I'd have back, but overall, if you gave me that, I would have definitely taken it and just went and hung out and had a meal somewhere instead of worrying about anything else. But yeah, what a day. Happy to put 2 together in a row.
Remarkably, Walters hadn't even expected to tee it up at Humewood this week. The veteran professional had originally been due to compete in Open Championship qualifying in the United Kingdom. But travel complications forced a dramatic late change of plans. And Humewood's gain may just prove to be everybody else's loss.
I was really keen to play in some big events. You know, I qualified for the British Open last year and I wanted to try and do the US Open this year. So I was keyed up to do that, but I also wanted to get some tournament golf in it. And I thought I'll come down to South Africa and play some golf at home, you know, on Sunshine Tour. And I got here and I played 18 holes in the pouring rain. I literally was drenched. I played in 2 rain grabs and I just fought my way through, and I was like, I thought I was not supposed to be in England, you know, I thought I was supposed to be down here, and I played in the rain. I thought, but you know, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be around familiar faces on a great golf course, on a tour I love playing. And so I just relaxed and came out, and it was windy yesterday, but I felt comfortable and I really enjoyed it. And I just love being down here in my home country and playing.
So, with just 1 round remaining, Justin Walters held a commanding advantage at the top of the leaderboard at 15 under par. 4 shots clear of Gqeberha and Welshman Jack Davidson. First round leader Gqeberha remained firmly in the hunt at 10 under, tied for 4th alongside John Hugo and Gqeberha, setting up a fascinating final day on the famous links. While the likes of Walters and Blah booked their places in the final round, Dylan Gqeberha narrowly missed out on the last day's action. Originally from Gqeberha, Gqeberha arrived at Humewood eager to impress on a course he knows intimately. And although this was only his 3rd Sunshine Tour appearance, there were already plenty of signs suggesting a bright future lies ahead.
Moved up to Joburg 2 years ago to try and pursue golf professionally, and it's gotten really good. I started on Bushveld, worked my way up to Big Easy last year, and then I got a Sunshine Tour car, so it's good to be home and enjoying the wind.
Gqeberha is another graduate of the Betway Big Easy Tour system, a pathway that continues to produce some of South Africa's brightest golfing talent.
It didn't start great. I missed 8 out of the first 9 tournaments. I missed the cuts. Then I had a good run of 6 events where I ended in the top 7, and I had 2 second place finishes that got me quite a bit of points, and I ended 9th on the Big Easy Order of Merit, which top 12 got a card for Sunshine. So it was a great year last year.
And so on to the 3rd and final round in Gqeberha, with glorious sunshine and calmer morning conditions greeting the players for what promised to be a dramatic finish at Humewood. All eyes were firmly fixed on the final pairing. Gqeberha had the task of going toe-to-toe with overnight leader Justin Walters, the man everyone else was chasing. But despite the enormous pressure surrounding the occasion, both men looked a picture of calmness during their final preparations on the range. 2 vastly experienced professionals, fully aware that one special round could secure glory on one of South Africa's most iconic golf courses.
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, I'd rather be in this position than 4 shots behind. So I put a lot of hard work in the last few months, and it's starting to come through, and here's you know, the result of it, another opportunity to make the most of it. So it's easy to get ahead of yourself, because today completely different direction of wind, so I feel like you're going through the yardage book and trying to learn a whole new golf course, and holes where you were swinging out your boots with a driver, you're considering now an iron off the tee, so it's completely different today. So it'll be a fun challenge, and everyone has to figure that out, so we'll see how it all pans out.
Always nice to be in the final group. Look, for me, I didn't have to sleep on the lead, so for me, I know what to go out and do. So it's just to go out and basically keep my processes and go do it.
While Walters and Blah would be the final players to tee off, Jordan Bernand was already making his move long before them. Starting the day well down the leaderboard alongside Rowan Korb, Bernand took full advantage of the pristine morning conditions. The South African fired a superb 6 under par 66 to claim the early clubhouse lead at 8 under overall. But even Bernand knew the scoring conditions were too good and that his number was unlikely to hold.
Look, I think the first 9, you can't really get it much better in Port Elizabeth, was pretty breathless, and I think you try to control what you can control. You get in here, definitely not going to be what's going to win, but I mean, the guys will go low this afternoon, but you know, it's just happy to climb the leaderboard from where you were, making the cut on the number and just trying to post a good finish for the week.
And low they did go. One player beginning to surge was Gqeberha. A product of Golf RSA's elite development structures, Rama showcased exactly why he remains one of South African golf's brightest prospects. As the famous Humewood win slowly began to strengthen, Rama's exquisite touch around the greens proved invaluable. Back-to-back birdies at 7 and 8 propelled him to 13 under par and firmly into contention. But the loudest cheers around Humewood belonged to local favourite Gqeberha. After slipping slightly during round 2, the Gqeberha-born professional rediscovered the magic that had carried him to the first round lead. Roared on by massive galleries throughout the final round, Gqeberha birdied 3 of his opening 8 holes to storm to 14 under and briefly seize control of the tournament. And the reason he found himself on top was because the two men playing behind him had suddenly stumbled. Justin Walters opened cautiously with 4 straight pars before disaster threatened to strike. 3 bogeys in the space of 4 holes saw his commanding overnight lead evaporate in dramatic fashion. Playing partner Gqeberha was also struggling to build momentum. Despite mixing in 3 birdies, Blau also carded 2 bogeys and a costly double as he slid backwards during a chaotic opening 9. Then came drama. After pulling his drive into the bushes, Gqeberha was forced to take an unplayable. A poor recovery ultimately resulted in a double bogey, his lead disappearing as quickly as it had arrived. Suddenly, the door swung open and several players rushed through it. One of them was Welshman Jack Davidson. After an early bogey at the 4th threatened to derail his momentum, Davidson responded brilliantly with back-to-back birdies to climb to 12 under alongside Gqeberha. And then enter Dani van Tonder. The former Courier guy Order of Merit winner has become one of the most feared closers on the Sunshine Tour. And after shedding nearly 20 kilograms through an intense fitness transformation, he looked sharper than ever. Van Tonder started the day 6 shots behind the lead, but slowly, methodically, he began stalking the field. After turning in 35, the 13-time Sunshine Tour winner exploded into life on the inward 9. An eagle and 3 birdies over the next 8 holes suddenly catapulted him into serious contention. Standing on the 18th tee at 13 under par, Van Tonder knew one more birdie could completely change the complexion of the tournament. And once again, he delivered, closing with his 5th birdie of the day as he signed for a magnificent 67 and the clubhouse lead at 14 under par. For a brief moment, he shared that lead with Davidson, but the Welshman's title hopes suffered a crushing blow at the 17th after a costly bogey dropped him back. A par at the final hole still secured an excellent finish, but it would not quite be enough. Meanwhile, Justin Walters was mounting a comeback of his own. After giving himself what he later described as a stern talking to at the turn, the South African rediscovered his composure magnificently. 3 birdies over his next 7 holes pulled Walters back into the outright lead as the tournament built towards a breathtaking finale. And so onto the brutal par 5 17th, a hole that had destroyed so many title hopes throughout the week. Walters rose to the moment brilliantly. A superb tee shot followed by 2 outstanding iron shots left him just off the green, but facing a downhill putt with the tournament hanging in the balance. He handled it perfectly, rolling his ball to within a couple of feet, which he easily managed. And suddenly victory was within touching distance, which brought everybody to Humewood's iconic closing hole. With the historic clubhouse standing proudly in the background, Walters stepped onto the 18th knowing that a par would secure him an emotional return to the winner's circle. His drive found the short grass, his approach narrowly missed the putting surface, but the fringe still left him in complete control. Meanwhile, alongside him, Gqeberha was producing one final charge. 4 back 9 birdies, including a sensational finish at 18, pulled Blau back to 14 under, and suddenly applied huge pressure on his playing partner. 2 putts were needed, nothing more. And once again, Walters delivered under pressure. The lengthy first putt settled safely near the hole, leaving this for victory. A sensational and emotional return to the winner's circle for Justin Walters.
Yeah, by the skin of my teeth. It made it quite interesting, didn't I? But I think in a way, that way almost would have been better, because if I just breezed through it, I wouldn't have probably had to overcome so much, and then I've gained so much from overcoming a lot and getting through and over the line, so I'm really happy with that. You know, the front played really hard. I hadn't played it in this wind, and everything was just seemed like it was into the wind, and I was hitting woods into par 4s and things like that, and I just got a couple of clubs wrong, and then one silly 3-putt, and I suddenly found myself 3 over, and I didn't feel like I did too much wrong. It really turned the screw on me a little bit, I have to say. So gave myself a bit of a talking to on the 10th tee and really kind of settled in and made a nice birdie on 11. I think that turned the tables for me a little bit, and then really pulled through at the end. It means the world to be able to just win again. I wanted to win for my kids. I spoke to my boy last night. You know, that's so funny. He said, "Dad, don't screw it up." So I was screwing it up on the front and then turned it around, and you know, I can't wait to tell him that I didn't.
While Walters celebrated a memorable triumph, the tournament also marked the end of an era on the Sunshine Tour. Long-serving tournament official Dirk Clutie officially called time on a remarkable career spanning nearly 2 decades. Widely respected throughout South African golf, Clutie played an instrumental role behind the scenes in helping deliver Sunshine Tour events across the country and beyond.
Such a long journey, 19 years with the tour. You can't sum it up in a few sentences, but it all started for me, and I remember it vividly, walking into the tournament office at Durban Country Club for the Sun Coast Classic back in mid-May 2007, and I remember that clearly. So and now I've come to this last event and it feels surreal. You know, I've made a decision to move on, retire, but all for good reasons, and I'm walking away from the tour on a good footing. I love everybody on tour, and some of these team members I've been with right from the start, and it's special, you know, really special, close to the heart.
You know, we met many years back at, I think it was Sun Coast. He came to his first event, and now we've just gone on, years gone by. Even I live in Pretoria, he lives in Cape Town. The amount of events we've done over the years, camaraderie, the laughter, a few beers, a few bottles of wine. It's been good fun. It really has been good fun now, and yeah, I suppose all things come to an end. Turkey's decided to make his decision, and we respect that. But it's been good fun, really good fun.
There were several nervous moments along the way, but Justin Walters held firm when it mattered most. His final round, even past 72, proved enough to secure a 3rd Sunshine Tour title, finishing at 15 under par. Donnie van Tonder and Jacques Blau shared 2nd place, 1 shot back at 14 under, while Jack Davidson ended alone in 4th. The victory moves Justin Walters into 5th position on the Courier Guide Order of Merit standings. Samuel Simpson continues to lead the race, while Austin Bautista and Gerard Pepler complete the top 3.